A few things in the news this week to address. First, we have Israel saying they want to preemptively strike Iran with nuclear weapons. The old accusation goes, if you don't stop building nukes, we're going to nuke you. We're going to attack you unless you quit doing something you're already not doing. I'd like to know how Iran can prove they're not building a nuke when there's already no evidence that they are building a nuke. You can't prove a negative. The burden of proof is on the asserter. If you're going to say Iran is building a nuclear bomb, you have to have evidence for that, not just scare tactics. They are building a nuclear power plant. There's plenty of evidence for that. There's not one shred of evidence to show that Iran is building a nuclear bomb. It's the same kind of scare tactics they used on Iraq, saying they might be having a mushroom cloud. And with Iraq, it wasn't mistakes, it was conscious lies. And Niger forgeries prove that. You can't accidentally sign the wrong foreign minister's name on a document. That means it's forged, which means it was faked, which means it was intentional, which means it wasn't a mistake, it was a conscious lie. And the fact that the media repeated this lie over and over and then never corrected it, not even after the fact, means they were in on it. One thing that has happened, though, is Israel's admitting that they have nuclear weapons. See, every country that has a nuclear bomb is subject to inspections, except for Israel. They want Iran inspected, and Iran has been inspected and cleared multiple times, but they don't want any inspections on their own nuclear facilities. Israel acquired their nukes by stealing technology from the United States and spying on the United States. And the whistleblower, Mordecai Vanunu, who told the world that Israel had nukes and took pictures of them, is sitting in an Israeli prison. And Jonathan Pollard, who spied on the United States to help Israel get technology to build nukes illegally, is somebody that Israel is trying to get amnesty for. So they're punishing the whistleblower and trying to reward the spy. How does Israel justify wiping people off a map? They bitch about Ahmadinejad possibly saying he wanted Israel wiped off the map, even though that's not what he said. Yet they're actually doing that to people. They are ethnically cleansing Palestine, setting up racial colonies, bulldozing down people's homes, shooting kids, and building Jewish-only settlements. That's absolutely insane. That is just as crazy as white South Africa and the apartheid there. How can that possibly be justified? I'll tell you how. In a recent speech at a school, Norman Finkelstein was talking about Palestine, and some girl got up there with her crocodile tears going, World War II, boo-hoo. She wasn't alive. It doesn't affect her. It was fake. But she gets up there and cries about World War II. How is that even relative? Jews died in World War II, so did 72 million other people. There have been a lot of genocides in history. Look at the Americas. We all speak English and Spanish, and it wasn't naturally that way. Look at Australia speaking English. Why is that? Anyway, there have been many genocides in history, but the one that's memorized is the Holocaust of World War II. But why does Palestine have to pay for the crimes of Nazi Germany? I mean, Israel is acting like Nazi Germany. They are ethnically cleansing people. For them to poo-poo about the Holocaust as somehow, because of the Holocaust, they're now allowed to just murder people outright, would be as stupid as saying Japan, let's say, they would never do this, but if Japan tomorrow invaded the Philippines and just started demolishing homes and building Japanese colonies and saying the sun goddess gave them that land and that it's supposed to be Japanese or something like what Israel does, and just started murdering everybody with highly superior technology, which Japan does have over the Philippines, and the world sat and watched it, and they said, well, we get to invade the Philippines and kill everyone because America dropped 2 nukes on Japanese cities in World War II, and that was so horrible. They killed all these hundreds of thousands of civilians in a flash. Yeah, that was horrible to nuke Japan, but that doesn't mean Japan can now invade somebody and colonize them. That's what Israel's doing. I don't understand how the argument can last this long. The reason is because people don't know. They think it's this, suicide bombing and reaction. No, it's a massive military occupation with ethnic cleansing, and that's why there's violence. It starts with the occupation. If you omit the part of the occupation, everything's pretty confusing. But once you learn, Israel is occupying Palestine with an apartheid wall, guard towers, rules, curfews. They shut down electricity, food, and water at will. They make these people work for $2 a week. It's virtual slave labor. It's absolutely horrid conditions. And no one seems to care. In America, the mass media says calls the Israeli settlements Israeli neighborhoods. They don't mention that they're ethnically pure and that only Jews can live there. They can't even go to school with Arabs. It is an apartheid state. And these little girls in universities that are whining about World War II need to wake up. There is absolutely no justification. Forget about religion and ethnicity, who was at what land first. One group of people cannot go to another group of people, smash their homes and shoot their kids and set up a racial apartheid and think that, hey, we've done nothing wrong. Why are people so angry at us and willing to blow themselves up? Because you kill their kids, that's why. It's not because they're crazy. It's not because of Islam. It's because you are an ethnically cleansing, racist, fascist police state, and that is why people hate you. It is unbelievable that Israel wants to preemptively nuke Iran. Pure scare tactics. It is unbelievable that Israel can openly, ethnically cleanse their neighbors and nothing said about that. I guarantee you, if Iran went into the neighboring country and just started to demolish homes and set up Persian-only colonies and started shooting people and doing what Israel does, Iran couldn't even get that far. If they even crossed the border, they'd get attacked. It's absolutely ridiculous for America to have this Israeli centrist policy. We don't benefit from our relationship with Israel at all. We could have cheaper oil. We could have more trade. We would benefit a lot more to tell Israel to go stick it. Plus, it's immoral. Israel is absolutely immoral. There would be peace in overnight. If Israel didn't have America's backing, they would be forced into negotiating for peace. And it is up to them. They are the ones who are actively in the West Bank colonizing the area and treating the Gaza Strip like an outdoor prison. They've invaded all of their neighbors. They use illegal weapons. They use depleted uranium, chemical weapons like white phosphorus and MK-77, and cluster bombs, and landmines, all of which are illegal. And they have secret nukes, which they just admitted that they have. Finally, the whole world knows about it. And they've imprisoned the whistleblower. They imprisoned the whistleblower Mordecai Vanunu, and they want amnesty for Jonathan Pollard to spy in the United States. Everything is backwards. Why are we so hell-bent on being Israel's bitch? Why are we giving them $30 billion a year, and especially during our own recession? This is a central issue in the Middle East, and until the United States, and we are the last ones, until the United States tells Israel that they will not tolerate ethnic cleansing and apartheid, it's not some real difficult, debatable issue. It's totally immoral to do that. If Israel would just be told, hey, you know, you can't just go around murdering people. It's wrong. And we're not going to give you any more money, and we're not going to trade with you at all until you get every single settlement out of the West Bank. There could be peace. But you can't have occupation and peace at the same time. You can't sit there and stomp on somebody and say, let's have peace. You can't do that. You're already being violent. The occupation has to end. Until the occupation ends, there will never be peace. But that's what the Pentagon wants. Perpetual conflict is perpetual profit. And that is why the United States is Israel's bitch.